Hi everyone! So, happy Christmas Eve! Actually, we've been planning this for a really long time, but we just didn't have the time to do it since JR is having exam. So we're trying to compare and contrast what it's like to be a student and at her age and what it's like to be working already at my age, particularly a med student because she's a med student. Basically, what happened is, and RJ told me to write each other 10 questions we want to ask about each other. Here it is right now. We have the 10 questions. This is for the med school.
Questions, and she has the work related question, and we're going to read it randomly and then answer it. Stay tuned.
Now we're going to decide which will go first, med or work. While she's doing the random thingy, I'm going to cut this scene. And we're back. Have a heads or tails to decide who will go first. So which one do you want to go first? Which one do you pick? Okay, so she picks head, I pick tail.
So here we go.
So heads. So I guess you go first. Here we go. I'm gonna read the question. How do you feel about still being a student but your former classmates are now working? Med student. Oh, okay. This is actually, I think this is one of the. I need to think first. Wait.
Sorry, JR.
I think I have some friends who has the same problem with me. I personally sometimes feel useless because like the normal routine of a person, it's like after you graduate you would start earning and then help in the family. So sometimes it still hit me from time to time that I feel so useless. But the good thing is I think it's also important to really have family support to reassure us that it's a good investment, that like it's like in exchange, like we're not working right now or not earning, but in the future there's something in return, which will become doctors and so. All right, so the next question. Wait, Bailey is too heavy. Okay, question number 1. So far, how you see it, parentheses, what are the pros and cons of big and small companies? Over which do you prefer for yourself? I'll start with small since that's my first job. So the pros of the small company is that since there are not a lot of workers, you get to experience more, since if you're one of the employees, as much as possible, they would give you the work that is pretty much mundane or pretty much workable for anyone. Or sometimes they will teach you new skills, so they wouldn't have to spend extra on actual professional, depending on the level of need that they need. So pretty much it's either you have to be more self-efficient, and independent. It's not like they won't teach you new things, but as much as possible you have to really have the eagerness to learn, since it's only small, and they definitely would want to save money as much as possible. And faster communication, like the gap between your manager and the rank and file employee is very small. So more direct communication, like if you have an issue you can just directly tell your manager, since it's only you guys anyway. So that's the pro of a small company. But I wouldn't say this is a con, but this is definitely something that will make people want to leave, because in small companies things change a lot and it changes fast. Yeah, since it's just starting, so procedures, all of that will change from time to time. Yeah, they're still developing the system, they're still constructing, but I wouldn't say it's a total con, but you really have to be flexible. So the pros of a big company is the opposite. So they already have constructed everything. So from the process, how you're gonna do your procedures, all of that is already been made. But the con is it will be harder for you if you have a problem. You wouldn't reach the immediate authority as soon as you wanted. Unlike a small company, your concern can be immediately heard. So I guess that would be the biggest pros and cons. So they're kind of opposite in a way. I guess it really depends on you, on what you're more comfortable with. For the second med questions, what can you say about life as a med student? What can I say about life as a med student? That's easy. Sad. Life as a med student. Depressed, sad, stressed. I think I'm not sure if it's my life. It's more of like, it really takes sacrifices. I think, I cannot answer that. What can you say about what? Life as a med student. It's really just study. I can say more. It's just study, but I think what I would remind myself or my classmate is this time what's different is that we're not studying to get to the next level. Like from LM to high school to college, and then get the certificate. For a med student, what many fellow classmates may often forget is that after we graduate, people come to us. It can be superficial or very personal. Health. It can even be relating to life and death situation. What's sad about many med students right now is many still study as how they were when they were in LM, in high school, or in college. They were studying for the passing grade, which I think it's the educational system, but I think it's out of the scope of the question already. If a med student won't realize that their goal is to become a doctor, they're graduating so that they can be called doctors. But as to saving lives or making someone's life quality going better, if you're just studying for the grades or the score, you might miss all those real techniques that takes to be a good doctor. So yeah, next question for the work. Number 2. Best trait in a boss you've witnessed so far. Like it's ideal and you actually see it. I think the best trait is having a boss that actually have a one-on-one with you and that actually listen. Yeah, actually spend time and listen to what you have to say. Yeah, not because that it's because they're evaluating. Because most of the time, I think employee gets evaluated. Like that's I know. Like even back when I was doing OJT, that I see a lot of employees will get evaluated. In my case, some of the best trait I like is that they don't just evaluate, but they really sit down and try to have casual talk with you. Yeah, like they really try to know you outside of work. So it's a good trait or a good sign to see a boss that would sit down and also tell you about their personal life. Like even though you didn't ask for it. But it's just a nice feeling to know that you're more than just an employee. Like they're really trying to build this rapport with you. I think based on experience from other friends, it's quite amazing for me to hear that there's really such a boss. Yeah, because actually I have terrible boss. Well, one terrible boss. My first job, which my general manager is very nice. I really appreciate that.
He got that trick.
Yeah, he got that trick. Like, it's really nice to know that he actually says that because he has his own office. But what he said is that you can just come in anytime, just so long as you knock. It's one of the rarest thing you can see in the company. People are like family. Actually, I think this is one of the stage that really makes you feel that they're human. So honestly, all of my I don't know if it's because of culture, but a lot of my other coworkers would never do that to their manager, but I'm the only one who actually would knock on his door because it's not a trait. It's not a trait most boss. Based on experience of like stories from other friends. So most of the time, you don't really see that in a boss or manager or supervisor. Yeah, because oftentimes, even in teachers, they would want that respect. So it's kind of like they have this line, and you shouldn't cross that. Of course, there should still be boundaries, but to have this feeling that you genuinely care, yeah, beyond that, like you actually ask about their family and all of that, even though really it's not your business, but it's nice to know that they still ask. So I think one of the reason why employees would stay for a really long time is really a good boss. So my question number 3. How long in one day do you spend studying and sleeping? Does it help you prepare for tests and exams better?
If I'm going to answer this like on an average, let me see.
For me, personally, mine is really diverse. Let's see. Usually, I can get at least 6 hours of sleep. So 6 to 8 is a good 24 hours for me. And then for the study part, basically, should I count? Usually, because if we have class, it's like the standard would be at around like let's say 7 or 8 to 5. That would be 10 hours.
7 to 5.
And then after that, let's say we will eat dinner at 6, so around 16 hours, more or less. Basically, it's like, if it's my life, it's more like, other than sleep, okay, let's take that away. So 24 minus 6. 24 minus 6, 18. And then, basically, the rest of the time, like other things, anything at all. At least 10 to 11 hours, it would be.
For an hour?
No, I mean all the other stuff.
Okay.
All the other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 10 to 11 hours at least per day need to be like dedicated for the study part. That's the least. In medicine, there are a lot of information that you need to read about. It's kind of like the level of readings they give you would be very high. So if you're a student who really wants to understand what you're reading, you need to spend another time searching for those basic knowledge before you can read on what's being assigned to you. So study, and it would really help a lot for test and exam, because in test and exam you need to understand the lesson or topic, and other than that you need to really memorize a lot too. So it takes time, right? So spend a lot of time studying. Okay, next question. For the third question,
Sure, it's,
another work.
it's a third question.
Question number 3. What is the first parenthesis, one of the most parenthesis important lesson you've learned about work or adulting? Honestly, I have a lot that I want to say.
Yeah, I have a lot. I have a lot of important. Well,
Maybe 1 or 2. I'll see how it goes. But one is definitely the power of money. That's one of the, well, not realized, but it's No, but I mean, it's kind of like since before we have allowance, it's because we have a provider. But now you kind of like you are providing for yourself. Of course, I'm not saying that my parents completely cut me off, but ever since I started earning, it's kind of like you have this power. So it's kind of like you're responsible for your own money. For example, if I'm going to buy food outside, I don't have an allowance anymore since I'm earning for my own. Of course, when you have salary, you kind of like, oh, I want to eat steak. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but I think you can see where I'm going. It's kind of like since you have this newfound power of unlimited, well, I'm not saying unlimited, but a certain amount of money that is in your control, you tend to abuse it. Like one way or another, you get abuse your own financial situation. What I've learned is that one thing that I notice is that savings. Like sometimes it's hard to do savings because you always have at the back of your mind that I'll just save whatever I didn't spend. But the thing is that you're gonna spend that eventually.
Sure you'll spend.
Yeah, so actually when I started working, my sister helped me. Stop smirking. So my sister actually helped me. She found a bunch of some of the financial videos. If you want to know more, let me know. We can do a video about that. But one of the tip was given is that you can use it if you want. Once you get your salary, is the moment you got it, save first, not save later. So if you're committed that you wanted to save, let's say this 5,000 pesos in your account, then you have to promise yourself or put a curse on the money that if you spend it, yeah, you have to be very, very committed. Be strict. If you cannot be strict, give it to your parents.
Parents, don't you agree?
Yeah, parents, don't you agree?
Agree.
But that's just one of the signs that you really have to grow up to really be committed, because
You need
you're
to learn about
because one of the things I always tell myself is that my parents cannot watch over me forever, so I have to learn these things myself. Like even though I have this great lust for things,
Self-control.
yeah, it's also self-control. Even though I have this great lust of buying and wanting things, but as Manny says, you have endless wants, and if you keep fulfilling your wants, then eventually you're just gonna run out of money. So one of the best advice that anyone can give is always have reserve. Even though people know, like in their head they would say I need to save, but their thought is always
Or their
I will buy things first, then save later. Yeah, and that's a big no-no, because if that worked, you wouldn't cry about not having savings now. So I think the best thing to do is to really save first, spend later. Another suggestion is that if you want something, wait a couple of days to see if you actually still want it.
Is that the time period you notice that there are a lot of things at first you want it, then you notice that more or less after a week you realize you don't really need it or want it, and then you ended up not buying?
Actually, I would give it 5 days to 1 week. Like that's the
your
really time period to really see how strong I wanted this thing.
And usually you can separate.
Yeah,
those.
usually I can separate things like that. And actually the other thing about adulting, I think, is to also how should I say this? Also to have time for yourself. Because when you started working, well, I'm not saying everybody does, but oftentimes they would get themselves stuck into a routine. I think it's important to also, relax or do something spontaneous. Do something you have never done before. Yeah, don't forget to have fun. At one time, it's the most spontaneous thing I can do because I would say I grew up in a very strict curfew, like super strict. I just think it's something fun. Of course, I'm not saying follow my footstep or anything like that, but my point is that do something that's out of your comfort zone sometimes, because that's what makes like fun. If you're keep on staying in the same box, you're just gonna get bored and feel like
life is meaningless and get depressed. I actually got on a sick leave, so it's a leave, so that means I have pay. So I'm not skipping work. I was on leave. But that day I didn't want to work. I went to watch a movie. Like for the whole day. I actually watched back to back. Yeah, I just do what I want because it's kind of fun, like to be spontaneous. Yeah, so long as it's not illegal. I'm not selling drugs or shooting someone. I kind of want to shoot someone. I'm just kidding. But going out of the line to watch a movie by myself is always something I really wanted to do, even though it's perfectly normal for a lot of people out there. But because I grew up in such a strict household, I cannot even do that. So I go on a leave. I went to watch movie back to back. Then I stay in Starbucks for like the remaining afternoon until the time I'll probably go home. Yeah, it's like a break for myself.
Be a boss for a day.
So something like that. Like you can do something like that. Something spontaneous, out of the comfort zone. You don't have to force yourself or be in that same routine. Okay, maybe some people like that because I actually know someone who likes that. But for those who trying to have something new, yeah, who also need this, just think of something that you have never done but wanted to do, but not illegal. Not illegal. Then try and make that happen because that's what makes life fun. So oftentimes I actually like to bring my sister out because she also has that. Her routine is always studying. So oftentimes I would try to be fun and spontaneous. So I would ask her, hey, you want to watch a movie? Do you want to eat food? Do you want to do this or do that? Just to get her out of that same routine. And it's kind of breath of fresh air. Agree?
Agree.
Agree?
Agree.
Very good.
So that's it.
So that's it. But if you guys want a part 2, like, comment, subscribe. Okay, if nobody wants, we're still gonna do it anyway because we wanna do it.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Punk. Okay, she said it, I didn't. Punk. Mic drop. It was a mic drop. You know, I didn't know. Mic drop's supposed to be cool. She made it so uncool. I didn't even know how she do that.
I'm cool.
She made the mic drop look stupid. Punk. But yeah, let us know what you think. And it's Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Bye. Thank you for watching.
And if you relate, comment down below what's your experience.
As a student,
Yeah,
or
if you
as
want
a
to
worker.
add-
I know on the med part, I didn't really answer.
Like, I don't know. It's hard. It's impromptu. Like, I don't know what to say.
She talks too much. But if you have your own question that you want us to answer or anything like that, or if you want to see some other types of Q&A, put it in the comment. Put it in.
Bye.
Bye.